We've been trying to understand the deepest mysteries of the universe for centuries. What are black holes? What existed before time? What is consciousness? What's beyond our universe? We ask, we study, we build machines, we run equations, and yet the most important answers still feel like they're just out of reach. But what if the reason we can't reach them is because we're chasing them the wrong way? What if the truth doesn't want to be hunted? What if the harder you try to understand something impossible, the further away it gets? This is the heart of what I call the intentional ignorance theory. And I believe it's the key to unlocking things we've never been able to explain. What is the intentional ignorance theory? It's the idea that, greater than sometimes, the only way to learn something truly impossible to understand is to stop chasing it and start letting it come to you. That doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean closing your eyes. It means you stop forcing your mind to solve something that's not ready to be solved yet. But while you ignore it on the surface, your deeper mind is still moving toward it. That's the difference. It's not ignorance from stupidity. It's ignorance by strategy. Let's take black holes. For decades, we've tried to understand what happens beyond the event horizon. We throw theories, we run simulations, we imagine exotic possibilities, spaghettification, wormholes, time stopping. But we always hit a wall. A mathematical wall, a physical wall, a mental wall. What if, instead of attacking the problem head on, we start doing something else? What if we hold the question quietly in the background of our mind, and let life, and time, and existence itself slowly bring us closer to it? Think about it. When do humans actually have breakthroughs? Not when they're desperate, not when they're overthinking, but when they let go. Einstein discovered relativity by imagining himself riding on a beam of light, not by solving 10 equations per second. Ideas come in dreams, in silence, in boredom, in sudden flashes. Why? Because our subconscious mind is more powerful than we think. And when we stop searching, it starts working in the background. Intentional ignorance says, let your conscious mind step aside, and your deeper intelligence step in. How would this work? Let's say we're trying to understand time. Time is weird. It flows, but we don't know what is flowing. Is time real? Is it an illusion? Is it a dimension? We could sit down and study 1,000 books and still not feel closer. But what if, instead, we do this? We learn just enough to hold the question. Then we stop chasing the answer directly. And we keep living, thinking, dreaming, connecting different ideas, staying curious, without trying to solve it. We ignore it, but with intention. Like setting a seed in your mind and walking away. You're not running from it. You're letting it grow, without ripping it out of the ground every 5 seconds to check. Why is this important? Because maybe the greatest truths in the universe, truths like black holes, time, the soul, multiverses, aren't things you catch. They're things you meet. And you don't meet them by chasing. You meet them by becoming the kind of mind that's ready to receive them. The mind that knows, if I stop forcing the door open, maybe it'll open by itself. The new way of knowing. This theory isn't about being lazy. It's about using a different kind of intelligence. The intelligence of patience. The intelligence of indirect movement. The intelligence of waiting while still acting. The intelligence of listening to silence. Intentional ignorance is not stopping. It's walking without chasing. And sometimes, that's the only way to reach what's truly beyond reach. Maybe the final answers won't come from technology. Maybe they won't come from brute logic. Maybe they'll come from those of us willing to stand still, while the universe speaks. And when it does, we'll be ready to hear it.